go live. And so it's saying on my screen it's live. So I'm going to ask you to do what I'm doing. And that is go to Facebook. If you have already liked Small Business Center at Forsyth Tech, then you just received a notification, or should have received a notification, that we're live. And if you haven't liked it, feel free to like it, and you'll be notified every time we go live. So I am typing creating Raving fans. And what I said this morning, Kurt, when I gave a commercial, I said, we don't just want transactions, we want relationships. And we don't just want you to be our customer, we want your whole family. We want your friends. We want other people you know that need the service that we offer to find us, so at least check us out, right? So let me brag about Kurt for a minute. Kurt was it the second session of Launch Challenge?
It was, yeah.
So Kurt was in our Business Accelerator in 2018 and did a really good job. He did so well that he won the thing. We gave him a couple dollars too in a grant, and helped him to start his business.
Yeah.
And we stay in touch, and every time I touch base with him, things are going well. Things continue to go well. And part of what is going well for him is he doesn't just sell a product or service, he sells an experience. And it's that experience, I'm presuming this is in your presentation, right? Is that experience that results in raving fans. I'm happy that there's a lot of people who are happy with the Small Business Center. I'm happy that they tell other people that they're happy with the Small Business Center. Now, raving doesn't mean they're lunatics, right? Raving means they're excited and they want to share. So with that, I could give more of an introduction to Kurt, but with that, let me just pass the baton and the ball's in your court. Thank you so much for being with us.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here, Alan. You know, anytime I get opportunity to be able to partner with you, it's something that I definitely want to jump on, just because, you know, like you said, you and the Small Business Center has been such an integral part of our success here at FAST. And, you know, I got to be able to get back whenever I can. So this is a beautiful opportunity. And so hello, friends. Hello, fam. What's up, tribe? I see Jaira. My name is Curtis, aka Coach Kurt, and I am the owner of FAST. FAST is the place where families athletically strive together. We want to transform our city and use athletic training as the vehicle to be able to do that, primarily through our student athletes. And as the student athletes get enriched, you know, the parents and their siblings start to be able to see that transformation within them. And, you know, they get curious about how can they get enriched as well. And that's just the goal, for it to become infectious within the family. And so I guess a little bit about my resume. I graduated from Winston-Salem State in 2006. And upon graduation, I got the opportunity to be able to work with Walgreens as a manager in training. It only lasted for about a year, and I was able to get recruited by Nike to become their assistant head coach for 6 years, initially in South Carolina, and then I moved to the one in Mebane, which was great opportunity for me to be able to learn how to, you know, kind of be behind the scenes operations within a great company. You know, the reason why they have, you know, they're number one for this long is they understand how to be able to take care of their people, and they understand how to be able to deliver a specific product. And I feel like I was able to walk away with a lot of takeaways. That was great. I transitioned into fitness because I found that it was something that was natural to me, you know, to be able to kind of get into that realm, and I felt alive within that sphere. And so I made a transition wholeheartedly into that. And it was at the Rush Fitness Complex. I don't know if you all remember the Rush Fitness Complex in this area, but then they got bought out by Gold's Gym. and I was the group fitness manager there, and I managed a couple different locations. And again, I think that the Raving fans mantra really started to grow within me and my style of leadership there. You know, not only with our members that were taking classes, I was teaching about 3 or 4 classes a day, but also with the coaches and instructors that I was managing. My coach and my manager really just introduced us to that concept. And I definitely want to be able to share that a little later on. But upon that, I was able to get with D1 sports training. I was the head coach there for a year. And then I was able to kind of transition and start this journey and became a journeyman and wanting to be able to kind of do it on my own, because I really wanted to find a way to work with the student athletes and have all of the different experiences culminate to what it is that it is here today as far as FAST is concerned. And so, you know, the ride has been awesome. And, you know, I just want to give a little bit of snippet of who I am. And I see a lot of faces in here. I know one of you all, but I don't know everyone. So if you're brave enough, you don't have to. But I'd love to get a little intro. Y'all probably already did that before I got here, and I apologize if you did. But if you can give me a little snippet of who I'm speaking to, I think that'll help me out.
Hello, this is Annette Hayes. I am the owner of Social Elegance, where we do event project management and event strategy.
Awesome. Thank you, Annette.
Hi, I'm Shonda McKnight, owner of Coco and Shea Organics. We make natural soaps, body butters, and scrubs.
Shonda, awesome. Thank you.
My name is Tasha Harrison Springs. I am the owner of Texting is Risky Business. Our mission is to eradicate all mobile device use while driving to help end all related crashes, injuries, and fatalities. And I'm a survivor of distracted driving.
Yeah, much needed. Thank you, Tasha.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Sherman with Sherman Academy. We are homeschool away from home, and what I do, I homeschool children for parents because they have to go to work or they don't know the content. So I homeschool them for them at my location.
Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer.
Hello, Coach Curtis. My name is Keisha Horton. I am Samara Cares Counseling and Consulting. I am a licensed professional school counselor, mental health therapist, and licensed clinical addiction specialist. And I'm just starting my private practice.
Incredible. Thank you, Samara.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jaira Thomas, and my business is Written Aesthetics. And our mission is to promote mental clarity and act as a catalyst to release thoughts, prayers, and goals while journaling.
Thank you, Jaira.
And Kurt, you know me, but for those who don't know, I think I need to apologize for not introducing myself. I'm Alan Younger. I'm the director of the Small Business Center at Forsyth Tech. Our commitment is to increase business success through various educational events, as well as meeting with our business mentors.
Excellent. Excellent. And I do not want to sit here and make it seem like I am the expert. I don't have it together, and I'm still learning this whole process of entrepreneurship and, being able to grow. I think that the Small Business Center is a gem, and they give us so many resources and just opportunities to be able to dialogue and chop like this, and to be vulnerable and to, kind of trip over our words a little bit, present ourselves, and allow us to be able to be clear about our message and just so many other things. And so, again, the gyms are very vast, and, it's easy to become a raving fan of someone who's been kind of able to pour into your life and into your business that way. So one of the biggest things is, for real, like, let Alan, use him, because he's a servant leader and he's excited about your success. You know what I mean? And so that's a rare thing. So definitely use him in every way that you possibly can. Squeeze him out. How long is this accelerator program?
It lasts forever, actually.
Nice.
I'm joking a little bit, but
yeah,
when you were in the Launch Challenge program 3 years ago, it start to finish was very defined.
Right.
It was a 3.5 month program. This program is different in that it starts and you're in it as long as you need to be in
Oh yeah.
it. And it's also different because once you all started, the same people were in it the entire time unless they chose not to. With this program, people join every month.
Oh, okay.
Matter of fact, Jara just joined us and she's going to catch up and she's going to pass everybody because she's awesome at that. But, and the other thing that's different, Curtis, is that with the program that you were in, they were all for brand new businesses.
Yeah.
This program is for new businesses, but it's also for existing businesses. So
For
some
sure.
of the businesses that you heard mentioned already existed before I even met them.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I think one of the things, just based off of that information, Alan, is for everyone here is, figure out what it is that you want from this accelerator program. And sometimes those dates, those hardline dates and something that you're kind of shooting for and you have an end date is a real motivator to really like consolidate and find out a lot of growth. I think that happens with like weight loss challenges or, whatever that looks like. It's like, man, I got to lose a whole bunch within a certain amount of time. And I think, you really get focused. You kind of get a laser focus. And so use this and don't allow it to be kind of aimless. Figure out what those real goals are and like really get after it, so that you can see those notable results. Because I know y'all are here for the result. And I think that was definitely one of the benefits for me. But we're here for creating Raving fans. And I believe that creating Raving fans is one of the easiest, one of the most cost-effective, and one of the most, the fastest ways to be able to grow your business. You kind of think about what are the most conventional ways of getting people into your business, and it can start to get a little daunting. You know what I mean? It can seem a bit arduous at times, just because you have so much going on around social media. You got newsletters, you got, so many different touch points that as entrepreneurs is like, how much time do I have in a day to be able to truly do all of these things and do it with excellence, right? And so, I kind of spilled the beans a little bit, but what do you think is the main thing that you need in order for your business to not only grow, but to thrive and to remain? Anyone? Anyone?
I
I
guess
need a few things. First, I need some good, steady customers. And then
Yeah.
also it continues to grow and evolve. So just staying on top of it and staying focused on the idea so that it doesn't get off track or
Yeah.
ruin anything else because there's an opportunity there.
For sure. Yeah, no, that's great. It's try to keep that laser focus on what your mission is, keeping the main thing, because, you can end up getting pulled so many different directions and, that would definitely slow down progress. For sure. Anyone else got anything?
I was gonna say one of the same things, customers, and also social media kind of marketing to get out the actual business or the product or service. I think are are good things, I guess, to
Yeah,
kind of have.
absolutely. No, social media is a great tool, and getting those customers in and having that touch point through that. I think a lot of people, we know that a lot of people utilize social media in a lot of ways, and so for us to be able to utilize that tool would certainly be advantageous. 1000%, Jara. Thank you so much.
And Curtis, one more thing that was shared on Facebook from Beverly Davis, who, by the way, is going to be on Spotlight on Small Business tomorrow, if you'd like to learn more about her business. She shared customer service. So we
Okay.
need to, and from what I'm gathering from that is we need to always make sure we're providing the best customer service.
Yeah. No, it's huge. I think that's the essence of how we create Raving fans. What does customer service mean, and how do we deliver that? I think it's huge. For me, if it's super simplified, it's is our revenue greater than our expenses? You know what I mean? So some of us, that can be a lot easier, you know, if you're online, but if you're brick and mortar, that can be a little bit more challenging. But generating the revenue happens by way of the transaction and happens by way of being able to get traffic to your door. And that's super simplified, right? So there's definitely a lot more process to being able to actually get the transaction. And now someone to be confident enough to be able to be like, okay, I'm going to make this transaction with you. And I'm really more so what they're saying is I'm willing to start this relationship with you. So it's a little bit more of a process that has to unfold on the front end in order for them to be able to get there. And so that's I think that's one of the biggest things, that when you have a raving fan, that's, you know what, I'm not even going to jump into it. So Jaira, you hit on one of,
Before you do, I
Yeah.
wanted to share one more comment that came in on Facebook.
That's great.
And this came in before you asked the question, but it's just saying that we are all in this together, and all is all caps. And so back to what you were saying about creating raving fans, it takes all of us to do that.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
and that,
You know,
and that, I just want to say that came from Sandy Meeks. And if you're familiar with the Winston Tower, she owns a suite. I forgot the name of the suite, and she hears me right now. I'm sorry, Sandy, I forgot the name of the suite, but we need each other to keep that suite full, right? And so sometimes she'll reach out to others to say, do you know somebody who's looking for an office space? We all need to do that for our businesses. If we need customers and we know that there are others who will help us, we need to rely on each other. All right, I don't mean to cut you off anymore, Kurt.
oh, please, it's good. It's all great stuff. You know, if anyone has any thought or anything that they feel like burning here, please don't sit on it. You know what I mean? Like, don't let the moment pass you. I'm completely fine. You know what I mean? Like, please interrupt me. I think it enriches the conversation and allows us to be able to just gain more from it, for sure. And so I think that sound that speaks to like the ability to develop relationships with other businesses, and you know, if we apply what it is that we're doing with our members and our consumers with Raving fans, I think that the way in which we approach it would be the same as how we approach our businesses and our peers as well. And that relationship element allows us to be like, oh yeah, like I know different business owners, and so I'm going to be referring, I just, in a casual conversation, I'm gonna refer them to this person because I see the need and I know someone that can meet it. And that has happened so many times with me. It's like an email. Hey, this person does this and Curtis does this. I want y'all to meet. Happy trails. And it's been awesome. You know, whenever you can get that, it's like a pot of gold just lays in your lap. You know what I mean? And it's just because you have these principles to become a little bit more of your repertoire. You know, so that's incredible. So the more conventional ways to be able to generate that traffic is through, like what Jaira was saying, as far as like marketing, whether it's email marketing or event marketing, social media, just like what Jaira was talking about. You can advertise on social media. You can advertise through various modes. And all of those things take time. It takes money. It takes, you know, a lot of creativity. You know what I mean? You always got to be on the cusp of what's happening and what people are gravitating towards. You got to be aware of, you know, what's going on in the culture. It's, you know, and if you're not wired that way, it can seem, again, daunting. I'm not wired that way. And so, you know, every time I go to approach those things, this is like, man, like it takes me a little bit longer than maybe someone like Jaira, who's like, that's easy for her to be able to get, you know what I mean? And so, and that's another point, Alan, like what takes us all, like if one of us are strong in one area and the other one is, you know, has an opportunity, if we collab, you know, that's just a great way to be able to grow our business through that collaboration. So absolutely. And so customers, I feel when we creating Raving fans, they are like the process to happen before they decide to be able to enter into this relationship with you. They're already qualified. They've been pre-filtered, right? Because your consumer, your member, your customer that you've already are entered into a relationship with, that knows you, that knows how you operate within your business, and enjoys those things. 9 times out of 10, they are rubbing elbows with the people that are just like them, right? And so if you are allowing this experience to be unlike any other, You know, you do all of the necessary things behind closed doors to ensure that your level of service, your experience, your product, whatever it is stellar, is exceptional, is filled with excellence, and is filled with creating more than what they expect. You know, that's an easy conversation for them to just go ahead and talk to their friends who's just like them, and they just come to you right away. And they don't have to think about what happened because they've already been sold. That the sales pitch is done. They come to you and they're seeking you, and it's easy. They come to your door and they're ready to pay right away, right? So the idea of having to come up with some marketing concept or a post or whatever, where we're having to put all of these different things into it, that's been taken care of by the work that you've already done. You know, you've already put in the work, you've already kind of sold into this individual that's coming to you, and they're going to tell not only their friends, but they're going to tell, you know, their dog, they're going to tell their mom, they're going to tell everyone, you know, about what it is that you're doing. And I just think that it makes life easier when people come to your door and they're already ready to buy. And that happens a lot with me. And I feel like that's my primary source of how I'm able to generate, you know, new clients, new customers, is through delivering the product, allowing it to be exceptional, allow them to speak on my behalf, and then the people come in and you know, just this month, I've probably gained, you know, 4 new athletes for this program just based off of that alone. You know, and it's pretty great to be able to have that to happen, because again, they come in, they're right in step, and there's no filtering that has to happen, right? So this concept of creating raving fans, I'm sure that you all have heard of Ken Blanchard. He's written a book about it, and there's a lot of people that's kind of been able to piggyback off what it is that he has done. He's also wrote a book that is called Well Done. Has anyone read Well Done? Well Done, WHALEDONE. No, okay. That's also the concept of leadership, you know. So if you ever have opportunity to be able to look up Ken Blanchard, KenBlanchard, he does a phenomenal job in having us to be a little bit of countercultural in our approach. Well Done is countercultural in our approach. Creating raving fans is countercultural in our approach. And his mantra about creating raving fans sounds a little bit like this: decide on your service vision with the customer as the focal point. So what is your service vision, and how is the customer being at your focal point allowing you to be able to develop this, right? So what are you here for, and who do you have in mind that you want to be able to serve to allow you to really formulate that service vision? Number one. Number two, discover what your customer wants using the service vision as a foundation. Number 3, deliver what the customer wants plus 1%. All right, so let me do it again. Number 1 is decide your service vision with the customer as the focal point. Number 2, discover what your customer wants using your service vision as the foundation. And number 3, deliver what the customer wants plus 1%. And the one that I want to highlight is that number 3. You know, if any of those speak to you more, I would love to hear about it and why. But number 3, deliver what your customer wants plus 1%, is speaking about seeking to deliver, over deliver, and continually to improve by that 1%. So this is based off Ken Blanchard, continuing to improve by 1% more. I really like that because the consumer is the focal point, and you're really allowing them to dictate how you do your thing. It's not as much of what do I want to be able to deliver. It's more about them, and when they feel like they're being taken care of and they're being taken care of better than what they typically experience, that's not a typical situation. When has there been an experience where this has not happened, this has not taken place, where you went into a store and you felt that this store, this establishment, a restaurant, department store, whatever, was more so about them than you? Can anyone think of anything recently that's happened that was counter to what I just described? Anyone? I can think of one. And I'm a fitness professional. Please forgive me. My father has blessed me with some great genes. And so sometimes I eat things that I'm not supposed to eat. So this is what this is about. We had went to this restaurant that I won't name. But they got the order wrong, right? And so she's just rushing me through. I'm in the drive-through. She's rushing me through. She's not understanding what it is that I'm trying to communicate. And I'm silly, so I go home thinking that she did everything right. And then when I got home, it wasn't right. And my wife wasn't having that. She's upset. So I'm like, oh, dang, I got to go back and get this new thing that she messed up one thing. But now my wife doesn't eat just one thing at a time. She has to enjoy the whole meal together, right? So I'm driving back and I'm explaining on the call, and the girl, the girl that I talked to, she's like, yeah, that's not my fault that she didn't eat the whole meal. We just gonna replace the thing and we messed up and that's it. I was like, well, I get it, I understand, but she's not able to experience the whole meal together. This is how she is. She's like, well, I'm just gonna tell you what the manager said. He's not gonna do it. I was like, okay, well, that's great. If I could speak to him, that'd be great. Whatever. And then he says the same thing, but then I'm just like, I get it, I understand, but this is about an experience. I want to be able to speak well of you. I want my wife to be able to have a great experience within your establishment so that we can speak well of you, so that we can be Raving fans for you. I'm trying to help you out. You know what I mean? And so I was like, that's cool. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. I just would like your manager's number so I can just let him know how this experience went. And his tone changed and everything. And he was pissy about it. And so he did it, but he was pissy about it. And it's just like, whatever happened to going above and beyond with, our consumers with their experience? You know what I mean? It's like, is that too much to ask? You messed up and you're not losing that much money. Just take care of me. This isn't even your money. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we tripping right now? So anyway, that was one where it didn't go that well. And I know we can think about those all the time, but it's very, very seldom do we experience something where they go above and beyond. And one of the companies that we know that always goes above and beyond is who? Chick-fil-A. They are always above and beyond with everything that they do. Their chicken sandwich really ain't that great, but it is because their service is phenomenal. So it makes them above everyone else, right? Right? Just because their service is above, they have us at the focal point of their vision. And you can see it played out in the way in which every single time you go there, I don't care which one you go to, it could be Chick-fil-A in Timbuktu. They're gonna be like, my pleasure. They're gonna get through that thing super fast, and it can be lunchtime with everyone's in there and that line's gonna move. It's incredible. So they have it down pat and they understand what that means, and they're going to be successful for it. They can even be closed for a whole day and still be killing the game. You know what I mean? So I think that's just a great example of what that looks like, right? There's other people that have kind of piggyback off of this Raven fan situation. Tony Robbins, he has 11 of them. I'm gonna read them real quick, and if you all can kind of gravitate towards one in particular, kind of figure out, kind of let me know a little bit about, how that speaks to you, that would be great. So here's Tony Robbins. Know your company values, target the right audience, really get to know your customers, give advice rather than information, deliver more than you promise, move your customers to a better place, reward your best customers, continually ask customers for their opinion, run your business as an open and transparent way, create structure that allows you to consistently meet clients' needs, and give back in multiple ways. That's a lot. One that I think that I like a lot more that kind of stuck out to me was give advice rather than information. I think a lot of times we can come off as this, this know-it-all, this arrogant attitude. And I think that comes from a heart of, it's all about me and not about you, right? So if you can have this empathy about like, if it's okay, if I can give you some advice about this thing, you know you're the expert. You know what I'm saying? You've done all of this studying, you've done whatever it is to make you the expert. But even if you still come with the spirit of humility and you want to come alongside them and give them advice as opposed to telling them, you know what I mean? I think that does a lot for them to be like, oh, dang, this person actually like cares for me in such a way that, you know, they're meeting me where I am and they're trying to give me some advice. And if I take it, then cool. If I don't, then that's fine as well. Did any one of those others kind of stick out to anyone else?
Before you move on, could you give us like an example of what that would sound like? Because that's the one that stood out to me. Give advice rather than information, because I find myself doing that, giving a lot of information, you know, telling people that about the 100% essential oils, you know, trying to give information about how people are changing over to natural. So how would I give advice rather than give the information?
Yeah, I think it's through stories, you know, kind of your personal testimony,
Okay.
you know, or even someone else's testimony, you know, like maybe a consumer that came in that was doing something that one of your potential customers are doing currently, and how that is kind of, you know, the switch to the natural oils and the benefits of it that helped him. You know, anecdotally, a lot of times people can resonate more so with the story, you know, more so than just what are the facts. You know, like again,
Yes.
when it's more about like how this will enhance them, and more so the example of what it has enhanced, you know, in the past. I
Okay.
think that speaks volumes.
Thank you.
And
Yes.
even, you know, for yourself, you know, like how has it enhanced your life? Like how is these different things like cause your day to day to become better? You know, what have you experienced personally? And so again, the stories and the you know, the examples that you have based off of what you've seen and heard and experienced yourself, I think would be one great example to be able to do that. Does anyone else have an answer for her that they feel like can help with that?
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Anyone else? No. Okay. All right. All right, great. So we got Raving Fans by Ken Blanchard. We got Raving Fans by Tony Robbins. What we need right now is Raving Fans according to Coach Kurt. Like I said, I don't got all this thing together, but I'm gonna give my rendition as best as I can, because these guys are like, they've sold millions of books. And I ain't sold not a nan nut a book. So nobody say nan nutter like you. I don't know what it means, but it sounds good. Who know where that's from? Who know what that movie's from? You get extra points if y'all know where that movie's from. No one? Alan?
I have no idea, but I want to know now.
Don't nobody say nan nutter like you say nan nutter. What movie was that from? It was from How High with Method Man and Redman.
Okay.
Okay. Y'all know my genre. Y'all know when I was born now. Okay. You want a reps and sets? You want a time? I know you. Yeah, you like time. Oh, that is right. I don't know. I don't think so. All right. So, Coach Kurt, what we got? Okay. Number one, prioritize relationships. I feel like this is very important because when you start to learn a little bit about them, when you start to learn about kind of what makes them tick, you know, what kind of affects their mood, kind of on a basic level, just what their name is, you know what I mean? Kind of the different things that they got going on in their life. You know, you are taking a little bit more time to truly develop the relationship, because again, this transaction is a little more relational. And if it's not relational, they will be out the back door quicker than you can say what, Rach? Jackie Robinson. That's what she just said. No, yeah. Right. So make this about a relationship. Like allow them. Like this is you must create a sticky social web that makes them feel compelled to stay. And if they don't feel like anyone else knows them there, knows anything about them, not even their name, the idea to be able to like, save on some money or, save on some time or whatever, you will be the first one on the chop block. You know what I mean? So, make it hard for them to leave by making it about a relationship. You know what I mean? So prioritize that. Number 2, refine your skill sets. I think that I'm just a big proponent on being the best on your block, right? And you know who your competitors are and how they do what they do. And how can you one up them? What I know is, in my niche of student athlete development, I'm a coach at making athletes better athletes in the Winston-Salem area and around, even with personal trainers. But let's just talk about athletic coaches. There is no one that is training the way that I am. And if I do nothing but allow my product to speak for itself, when these athletes get released into the tray and they become beasts, what else is there? Where else is anywhere else going to go, right? And people still have an option, but when you become the expert in your field and you are setting yourself apart because, it's almost like creating job security, if you will. If you are working, as an employee, creating job security by you being able to you're the only person that can do what you do in the best way. You know what I mean? And I think that allows for others to be able to say, yeah, I've been to this hairdresser, but this person here, when they did my hair, it was something that I've never experienced this before. You know what I mean? It becomes an easy talking piece to be able to have someone to rave about, right? It becomes an easy talking piece for someone to rave about. Number 3. So number 1, prioritize your relationships, know who they are, know what makes them tick, refine your skill set. And refining your skill set, it's almost like just becoming a lifelong learner. Like, let's not get complacent in where we are, thinking that we all got it down and there's nothing else for us to do. Now let's just get busy at running a business. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to have something set on my calendar at least once or twice a year where I'm going to an event or something that I know that is developing me. I can't remain stagnant because this world is changing even at an enhanced rapid pace. Right. So how can we stay on the cutting edge of who we are, what we do, and what service that we offer? So become a lifelong learner and continue to refine your skill set, sharpen your tool. All right. Number 3, adopt a servant leadership mantra. And I think that's the reason why the giving advice rather than information kind of spoke to me a little bit, because I think that has that heart. Right. If you know that you are the most knowledgeable person in the room about whatever service that someone's coming to you about, but you still have kind of a posture of, I want to serve you. I want to help you in everything that I do. Even if you don't spend a dime on me, I'm going to want to enhance your life. I really care about you so much so that I can lose out a little bit so that you can be enhanced. Like, that's countercultural. People don't experience that. And when they do, it sticks out. It sticks out, just like Chick-fil-A sticking out from KFC. And that's who we went last time. It was KFC, and they don't know what they're doing. And you can almost feel like sometimes it happens whenever I go to Burger King too. It's like, okay, y'all gonna be closed down in about a couple months. You know what I'm saying? It's wild. It's like you don't really care about like keeping your doors open. Like, what is this about? It's about getting a transaction and having them repeat. You know what I mean? It's not a one and done. Some of us have these businesses where we are one and done, but if it's a one and done and it's excellent, then that becomes a 1 in 15,000 that all their other friends, because they got people that are just like them, right? So prioritize relationships, refine your skill set, adopt the servant leadership mantra, and number 4, work hard behind closed doors and play when it's game time. Work hard behind closed doors and play when it's game time. So I'm working on this, y'all. Sometimes I'll be sitting at my desk and someone comes in the building, comes in my gym, And I'm so immersed and engrossed in like whatever task I'm doing, I forget to tell my face that it's time for me to start to serve. You know what I mean? So my smile isn't as, you know what I mean, whatever. So when I'm bogged down up here, I can't be focused on you in the moment, right? So do all of the things that you need to do before anyone gets in your face. And then once someone's in your face, it is lights, camera, action, and you are all about them. Whether that's on social, and you know, I guess it's, you know, whenever you're making a video and all of those things, tell yourself that like, I am in this one person's face, not everyone's. I'm in my, who is my service? What do you say? Service vision, like having that member, that one person that you had a detailed description about that you are serving. Like, who is it that you're serving? And when you're making a video, speak to that person. You know what I mean? And light up and glow. You know what I mean? And speak to all of the things that you know that they want. You know what I mean? And even if it's in a big group, if we really hone down and focus on who am I serving? And I can't, just like who said that? You know, and I think it was Annette, where she was like, you know, I want to make sure that I keep the main thing and not have all these other things to distract me. You know, the person that I'm serving is my main thing. And so if I try to be able to serve this person and then serve that person and then serve that person, then I get lost in my message. And then it becomes everything to everyone. You know what I mean? Like, right here, I'm speaking to you, and like, your success is my top priority. Right? So you're working hard behind closed doors. You're doing all of the different things to ensure that your skill set is refined. You're learning these people. You're sending them thank you cards. You're treating them with the utmost respect. You're doing all the things that are countercultural. But then when you're right in your face, they feel it. You know, unfortunately, Rachel can't feel it right now. But you know, even still, I still stop a little bit to be able to make sure she's good. And I'd kind of put y'all to the side a little bit. I apologize. But you know, I'm just wanting to be able to walk that out in everything I do. So become about the people that you're trying to serve. And I think that all of this really starts to become a little bit easier. Like, we start to have a little bit more of a weight off our shoulders, and our hard work is being done in the streets without us even knowing. When we're asleep, we're making it because there are people that are talking, you know what I mean, on the chat. They're posting about you. They're having conversations one-on-one. And then you got people coming and hollering at you that word, okay, cool, let's do this, you know? So Raving fans will make your job easy. Like, just prioritize that person and allow them to speak well of you. And I promise you, it'll return a reward that is greater than what you can even fathom. That's my time, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got, Alan.
That was outstanding. And by the way, that list that you were counting through, I was not fast enough to take good notes. So if you wouldn't mind sharing that, that would be great. Of course, when I share it, I'm going to give myself the credit. No, I'm just kidding. No, I would definitely give you the credit, but that's a great list.
I love it. Yeah, no doubt. I would definitely reiterate.
And everything you said is so important.
Mm.
I like how, I think it was number one, you said it's about the relationship, right?
Mm.
Here's the advantage that we have as small business owners.
Right.
We have the opportunity to have relationships with these people. And odds are, this town is small enough that we know somebody they know, or we've been somewhere they've been, or we've done something that they've done.
Oh, yeah.
If we just take the time to ask those questions, we'll find the commonality, and that commonality helps with them committing to us. Now, we still got to deliver, right?
For sure.
But we're not just a commodity to them. We're also somebody that they get to know, and somebody else they know or something else that they've done is in common with them. So we have a great advantage. And we're not going to say the name of that place again, but I've had some bad experiences there and some other places, sometimes in person or sometimes a drive-through. And the attitude from them is often like it's your fault somehow.
Well, wow. It's like, wow, like what?
Are you kidding me?
Right.
I was clearing what I ordered.
Mm.
They're like, well, you should have checked before you drove off. I shouldn't have had to.
For sure.
Because the way that you're set up presumes that this is how you're set up to make it done right, right? But it's amazing how much of an advantage we have because we can be responsive in a way that sometimes the corporations cannot.
For
But
sure.
anyway, thank you so much, Kurt. You provided such a wealth of information.
Awesome.
And the chatter was going on in the Facebook Live. There's a lot of new Raving fans that you have
Oh, wow.
because of this. And so for those who are still listening or watching on video, make sure that you check out not just this video, but connect with Kurt or send people to FAST, Families Athletically Striving Together. Let's go ahead and get the address on I'm getting the street wrong too. Go ahead and give the address.
Yeah, no, it's downtown Winston-Salem, 214 North Broad Street.
Broad.
And, right now our initiative and our thrust is the student athlete, late middle school, high school, is really those that are transitioning from middle school into high school. And they really got that taste of, okay, I'm getting into the big leagues and I need to do something a little bit different. And if we can shape and mold them from 9th all the way to 12th, our guarantee is that they're going to be ready for a Division I program, and they're going to be ready for that academic Division I program as well. So we kind of attack them from a holistic manner. We're going to make them a beast on the field, on the court, whatever sport they play. But they're also going to ensure that their character is developed. Some of them don't receive it all, but we're speaking into their character. We're speaking into their learning style, all of these things academically, socially, and athletically. So our promise is they're going to be ready for Division I offers, and ready for academic offers as well, so that the opportunities and options are vast, and they have everything that they need to set them up for success. So yeah, student athletes in particular, we definitely work with adults. It's a little bit smaller footprint, but if you are an adult and you're kind of wanting to be able to work out, you can holler at me as well. But definitely those student athletes. 214 North Broad Street, right downtown.
Wonderful. And for those who can't visit you in person, do you have a web presence or social media presence?
Absolutely. It's the Fast Tribe is our website, right? So you can go to www.thefasttribe.com, and all of my social media handles are the same thing as @the Fast Tribe. So Facebook, Instagram. I'm not on Twitter, and we are getting our YouTube channel up and running very shortly. So but yeah, everything is @the Fast Tribe.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Kurt. Thank you all of us for joining us. I'm going to end the live stream right now.